Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Denise Passaretti of Passaretti Photography in Natick. I'd like to have you check out our website, which is photosbydenise.com, and also like us on Facebook. Now, everything that I'm doing today, you will have a link on our webpage. I'm not sure, probably in about 2 weeks or so I'll get the links up, and you'll be able to get all the notes and all the websites and all the different things that I'm giving out for you. The first thing I'd like to do is I would like to disclaim myself from working for Photoshop. I am not involved in any of the companies that I'm representing or that I talk about. I have learned everything through trial and error, mostly error. I started in 1982 in Newton, so this is going to be my 30th year in February. I'm very excited about that. I started in my home in 1982 in Newton and got my first office in Newton Corner, and then I moved to Watertown Square, and I was there in Watertown for 20 years where I pretty much built my business. And I moved to Natick about 6 years ago, and I work out of my home. So that's beautiful. We're done. That's talking about me. So what we're going to do is my goal today is to teach you how to take your images off of your camera. What I find is that a lot of people tell me that their camera, oh, I haven't done anything yet, it's still on my camera, and then something happens. So we're going to talk about what can happen. The first thing that happened is that the card that is inside the camera that holds all these pictures can get corrupt. They're very sensitive. It will cost you about $100 to get the pictures off of the card. That is if you can get it off the card. The other thing that happens is you can lose your camera. And I've heard that happening to people. I've even heard it on the news where somebody lost their camera and they were looking for it. And also, if you've ever gone to CVS or Costco's and you took your card and you put it in the computer and all of a sudden the computer goes, it basically means that you have too many pictures, the kiosk is yelling at you, and it's freezing up. So it's really important for you to take the images off the card and put them onto the computer. So that's what my goal is. Now, there are two ways of taking the images off of the card. There is the card, which will go into the computer. And also, your camera comes with a wire. Now, I have two cameras that I use. I use my little point and shoot. It's a Fuji camera, and I use it when I'm riding my motorcycle or at the beach, so I don't have to worry about that camera. And then I have my professional camera, which is a Nikon. So when you open your box from your camera, you take the box out and you take your cord out, put it in a cup near the computer so that you always know where your cord is. So never force the card into the computer. If it's not going in, the reason it's not going is because it's not facing the right way. So you flip it, turn it, whatever. Just stop, take a breather, and try it again. Beautiful. So what we're going to talk about first of all is a browser. A browser, this kind of shows you the different cards and the cords. And what I did also, a little tip was I have two cords that look just alike, so I put Fuji on one and Nikon on the other. It's another tip. So the browser is how you look at your computer. You can find anything you want by browsing through Windows Explorer. So I'm going to read this to you and then we'll show you what it means. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to find your folder that says My Pictures. The folder My Pictures can be somewhere in your computer, somewhere either under your name, under My Documents, or under Libraries. You're going to go into your pictures, you're going to make a folder, and you're going to call that folder Template, because you're going to use that folder over and over and over again. Inside that folder, you're going to put two folders. One's going to call Originals, and one's going to be called Proofs. Now, I'm going to explain that to you a little bit later, but I want you to just do what I say. Beautiful. So we're going to go into this right now, and we're going to find My Computer. Here's My Computer. You click onto My Computer. Now, you see on My Computer, you have the hard drive, and if I had a CD, it might register in here. You're going to go over to the left, and you're going to find My Pictures. Here's My Pictures right here. Click on My Pictures. I already have a template folder, which I use over and over again. Alphabetical order, You find template. Here's my template folder. I'm going to open it up, and there's my two folders, originals and proofs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain why we do the originals and proofs. But the first thing we're going to do is we took a few pictures today before we started our class. So we're going to take the pictures off of the camera by using the wire. So we plug it into the USB cord, and all of a sudden, you wait a minute, you turn the camera on. You always have to be patient and wait. People seem to, and it says, what do you want to do? You want to look at it? This is what I call looking at it through the back door. I'm not going to go the back door. I'm going to cancel this, and I'm going to go the front door. So the front door is your Windows Explorer. So I'm going to go up into my Windows Explorer, and I'm going to find my computer. And here's my camera right here, and there's my photographs. I'm going to open up the folder, open it up again until I come to my pictures. And there you go. So at some point we're going to talk about shortcuts, but what I want to do is I want to select all these photographs and copy them and put them into my folders. So a shortcut to copy everything is Control-A. All right, so I'm going to copy all my photographs. I'm going to either go in under Edit, or you can go under Organize. It's under either one of these, and I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go find my folder in my pictures. Alrighty, and I'm going to find, I already made, I think I did. Let's try it again. Okay, so if I go like this, I take my template folder, and I'm going to copy the template folder, and I'm going to paste the template folder, and I'm going to right-click and call it Class 1. This is our first class. Hopefully you'll join us for another one. And I'm going to open up my class folder. I'm going to open up my original folder, and I'm going to paste all the photographs. Whoops, that didn't work. Hate when that happens. All right, so I'm going to go back to my computer. I know what I did wrong. Okay, go back to the computer and open up my camera and open up all the folders till I find the pictures. I'm going to copy them all. I'm going to copy them, go back to Denise, find my pictures, and after a while you'll know where everything is. Go to Class 1, here we go, and now I'm going to paste them into my original folder. Now what happens is, this is called Windows Explorer. There's not a lot of things that you can do on Windows Explorer. You can delete them, you can rotate them, but that's about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about going to the next step and getting an advanced browsing software. So I've put it into my original folder. Now I'm going to put it into my proof folder. And there it goes. It's copying into my proof folder. Now after you do this, what you're going to do is you're going to take your original folder and you're going to make a CD so that you don't lose those pictures. Once you put them in the original folder, you're not going to touch them again. These are all the original pictures that you took off of your camera. All right, so we've done that. Now we have photographs in the originals and we have photographs in the proofs. All right. Now, we're going to talk about a couple of different browsing softwares, and one of them is Photoshop. When you buy Photoshop, Photoshop will come up with this screen here, and all you have to do is click over in the corner and say, don't show me this screen anymore. This is a help screen. So if you ever want to find help in Photoshop, you just go to the help bar over here. So just get rid of that screen. It'll come up every time. So there are a couple of things that I'm going to show you in Photoshop, and let me go to my next slide here from the current slide. Okay, the first thing I'm going to show you is a toolbar. Any bar up of the top of any software that you use is going to be called a toolbar. Over on the left-hand side is called a toolbox. And then on the bottom here, on the right-hand side or wherever you decide you want to put it, is called palette tabs. We're going to eventually get to these palette tabs at another class. We're going to go further and further into Photoshop. But today's class is just a beginner's class. So in Windows, you can't rotate and you can't do all that fancy stuff. So what you want to do is you want to get some advanced software. Now this, if you look here, this is your toolbar right here. Okay, there are all kinds of tools that you can use. Now I do have this on my website so that you can take a look at it. This is a description of what all the tools are. These tools are in all the software that you get. That it's the same thing as Photo Elements. Photo Elements is a little bit less expensive than Photoshop. Photoshop is very expensive. Creative Memories is another piece of software that you can get, but Creative Memories is for people who scrapbook, and they have all the same icons. They do the same thing. You have to buy the distributorship. Lightroom is another professional way of doing Photoshop. It's a little bit more advanced than Photoshop, but it's mixed with Photoshop. When you buy your camera also comes with a CD which has software in it. You can download that software, and that software also has some of these tools on it. We also have, in Photoshop, we have an area which is called Bridge, which is another way to look at your photographs. Picasa. Now what happened is when I was working to do this class, I went in and I talked to people who had all these different software and asked them questions and got to sit down and look at them to make sure that they do have the same possibilities as Photoshop does. Picasa is an online editing and storage company. It's free. You can go online and you can download and become a member, and they will actually store your images for you so you don't have to make CDs over and over again. Flickr is another one. It's a storage area. They do have some browsing software, but they are more for print. They like to print pictures. They want you to buy the prints. And then what I use is ACDC. So when you see me going into my advanced software, I'm going to be using ACDC. Now, when you take your photograph off of the card, this photograph is called a JPEG. A JPEG comes in different sizes. What I want you to do is I want you to go to your camera and I want you to learn the menu button. The menu button will help you learn how to shoot, set up your camera in all different ways. What we're going to do is I want you to go home and I want you to figure out your menu bar and look in your camera and see what kind of stuff they have in there. But what we're looking to do is figure out how large your JPEG is. When you go into the menu, you're going to find the shooting menu. When you go into the shooting menu, you're going to find the image quality. Now you can set your JPEG at whatever image quality you'd like. You could have an image JPEG that has like tons of information on it. You can have a JPEG that has just a little bit of information on it. If you look here on this camera right here, which is actually my smaller camera, okay, it'll tell you that if you set it at 2 megapixels, you're going to get 10,000 pictures. That means your pictures aren't very big. You could probably blow them up to a 4:6. But if you want to actually, you're going to go to a wedding and you think you're going to have really good pictures, you want a higher megapixels, like a 10 megapixels, and you're going to be able to get 1,000 photographs. Now, on the card that I just put in here, you can get a 1 gig, 2 gig, 3 gig, 8 gigs. So it just depends upon what you're using your photographs for, whether you're just going to be making 4:6s, whether you're going to be putting them online. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because when you have an image and it's got a lot of information in it, your computer takes a long time to look at that image. So that's why we put the images in 2 folders. We have the images in the folders. Let me just go to my next slide. Here we go here. There's a shooting menu. This is from my Nikon camera. And if you look on the very bottom here, it says you can either have it as a JPEG fine or a normal or a basic. So each one of these settings will give you more photographs, but the lower you go, the more photographs you get, the smaller your JPEG is going to be. Every time you open a JPEG, you lose information. If you're showing somebody the photographs and you're opening it and you're looking at it and you show it once, you lose a little bit. You show it 5 times, you use a little bit. When you start actually working on it, you lose a lot more. So that's why we have 2 folders. We have a folder with the originals, because let's say you mess up one of those JPEGs and you're working on it, you want to be able to go back to your original folder and you have the original JPEG. So that's why we make 2 folders. So let me just look at my notes for a minute. And like I said, people don't realize that they can resize the JPEGs. When you go onto Facebook and you take the photograph right from your camera and you're loading it onto Facebook, it takes you a really long time. And Facebook is screaming at you because it's such a big file. They don't want those big files. They want smaller files. And the other reason that you want to resize your images is because the originals also take up a lot of room on your computer. And your computer will eventually crash if you have too many JPEGs in the original format. So that's why you need advanced software to be able to get to the next point where you can start working on your images. So like I was telling you, we have some shortcuts. We also have a list of shortcuts here, which is also going to be on my website, and our audience has it in their packet. And the shortcuts that are really popular, and they're popular when you're using Windows, and they're popular when you're using all types of things. Control-A will select everything. Control-C cuts, and Control-V pastes. So those are 3 really quick shortcuts to remember. Here, I took this off of the website of Adobe. Now, any of your comments can be sent to me on my email, which is Comcast, and you can give me any suggestions. I'm going to be eventually working with other people. I'll be having guests along with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, we're going to step out of here, and we're going to go into ACDC. This is what ACDC looks like. Right now, I'm on a temporary 30-day trial with ACDC. They also gave me an extra 14 days. So you have time to try this out to see if you want it for free. If you don't want it, you can try another software. But your folders will always be in your computer. You just don't have a software to look at them. The only software you'll have is your Windows or your camera software. So I'm going to go into our class. Oop, that's not the right folder. And I'm going to go into our class 1, I think this is what it is. Here we go. So here is our original folder right here with all the original files. And if you look right here, it actually comes to 114 megabytes. And a CD will hold 740 megabytes, and then you can get a DVD, which holds a lot more. So what I'm going to show you is we're going to resize these images. So in here, see how it takes a while for them to load up? You can also view these images. You don't have to view them as a, photograph. You can also view them, I'm not used to using this. It's down here a little bit. Nope, can't tell. All right, you can use them as a list. You can either view them as a list or you can view them in thumbnails. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize these. So remember I said those shortcuts. Control-A selects all of them. And in here, it's either under Tools. There's 2 toolbars. Here's a toolbar here, and here's another toolbar here. If you go into the toolbar and you look under Batch, batch means you want to do all at the same time, and I'm going to resize these images. So I'm going to resize these images to, let's say, half. So it's going to just resize them. And now they're going to be much quicker to look at them. They're going to be much quicker to edit them. They're going to be much quicker to be able to put them up on Facebook and do all kinds of things like that. So here we go. So now they're done. We're just going to, we just took a couple of photographs. Here we go. Eddie blinked. So what we're going to do is we're just going to delete that one. Now, if anything ever happened, I still have these images on another card. There we go, that's a good one. All right, we don't like that one. Sorry, Eddie. Here we go. So we'll go to the next one, and you can see our audience here. And I think I like this one better than that one. I'll delete that one. So remember, we still have all our images on the other card. That's a good one. And I don't like that one, so we'll delete that one. And then we'll go to the next one. And it's screaming at me. Okay, so this one didn't get deleted. Delete, yes. All right, so the next one. All righty. That's probably because it's the last one. There we go. So now I've minimized these, and these are very small. They're probably the size of a 4x6. So remember, those are the different shortcuts that you can use. We have gone over downloading your images. We have gone over making folders. We've gone over browsing software. We've gone over image size. We've gone over resizing your images and shortcuts. Now I'm just going to show you that if you are looking for a shortcut, if you look under Open, see where it says Open, Control-O is a shortcut. If you go to Edit, Cut is Control-X, Delete has no shortcut. Rename, you can rename them if you want to. You can copy them. So these are all shortcuts, and that's really important to know, because when you're in Photoshop, now here's Photoshop. Let me show you real quick. I love this shortcut. If you want to open an image, you can go Control-O, or you can just double-click on the gray area. And there you go. It comes right up. So we're going to find my pictures. We're going to find my class 1. And we're going to open the images. And here we go right here. We'll take this one here of me, and we'll fit it on the screen. We'll bring it right up there. See, the image really isn't that big. If you want to find out how big the image is, you can go into image size. And this image actually is a 4x6. And so if I want to crop it, remember we talked about the tools? These are the toolboxes over here. All these tools are the same tools in any of the other softwares. So cropping is a very popular one right here. Here's the crop tool. So we're going to take this and we're just going to crop it a little bit tighter and enter, and there we go. We have a photograph. So that's our first class went by very quickly, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. We will be having another class in a month. We're hoping to have it the second Thursday of the month. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight and giving me support. Thank you. All right. And if you'd like to join us at 6 o'clock, we have refreshments. And 6:30, we tape the show. You can be in our audience. And at 7 o'clock, we have questions and answers. And please, again, like I said, if anybody has any comments, I'm going to just, out of curiosity, see if this will come up. If anybody has any comments, please come into, we have no internet here. Come in and visit me on my Facebook page, or take a look at the website and get some of our links. And here's looking at you. Thank you very much.